Morning guys, I'm Rebecca from Displaced Housewife, and today we're going to make some brown butter Muscovado Snickerdoodles. Alright, so real quick I'm going to show you my stats, where you can find me elsewhere on social media, and the feeds that I do for the Feedfeed. Alright, I have one more quick screenshot for you, so get ready and we're going to do the recipe real quick. And then as far as ingredient substitutions, I've made these with regular brown sugar if you don't want to use the Muscovado. And then I have also used all-purpose flour for all of it and no bread flour. You can do that as well. I just happen to like the way the cookies taste with the Muscovado and the bread flour. I like what it does to the texture. And one final, I've heard it referred to as Muscovado, Muscovado, and Muscato, which I was like, where'd the V go? So snap me and let me know where you guys stand on the pronunciation of it. Other than that, let's bake some cookies. We have our ingredients out here. I'm sorry, this is taking me 25 times to do this. We have butter, egg, salt, cream of tartar. So we have our veggie. I love to bake with veggie oil. This is sunflower seed oil, real vanilla extract, combination of bread flour and all-purpose flour, the Muscovado, which I'm just sticking with Muscovado, and then granulated sugar. So the first thing we're going to do is brown our butter. So you're going to need a saucepan, put it over medium-high heat, and let your butter get melted and watch. Okay, a couple of real quick browning butter tips. First, seriously, don't walk away because you can burn your butter really fast, and that's a major buzzkill. So as it starts to melt, I like to whisk it so that it will heat evenly, because you don't want everything to settle on the bottom and burn. You want it to eat. Another tip is that there's a very good chance your butter will start spitting, and it's just sort of letting off a lot of the moisture. So that happened really fast. I had to get it out of the pan. Always have a bowl ready to throw it in, and you want to get all those yummy brown chunks into your bowl. So while this cools a minute, we're going to put together our dry ingredients. Alright guys, so this is where it gets really complicated. We're going to put our 2 flours in a bowl, our cream of tartar, baking soda, and our salt. And I love to use a fork to sort of whisk together my ingredients because it's easy and always handy. And so the bread flour versus the all-purpose flour. You can totally use all-purpose flour for all of it. I choose to do a little bit more bread flour because I like the structure that it gives the cookie, and it also lends it this really awesome chewiness that I love. So our brown butter has cooled enough, so we're going to add all of our wet ingredients in no particular order, starting with the oil. So really quick, I love to use the Muscovado sugar. It gives these really great caramel and toffee notes to the cookie. It's a very moist, almost sand-like consistency, more so than brown sugar. But like I said, you can totally sub in regular brown sugar. You will miss out on some of those notes that it brings to the cookie, and you can find it on Amazon and Whole Foods, just FYI. So this is actually my favorite brand. There's zero ad sponsorship or anything happening. I just love it. It's so good. Okay, when you're mixing this up, you're going to realize it's actually quite sludgy, and because of how moist the Muscovado is, might be some large chunks of the Muscovado in there. So you're going to want to try and break those up as much as possible, but little tiny chunks are fine. Okay, see that big chunk on there? That needs to be broken up, but then you'll see there's lots of little flecks in the dough. Those little ones are fine. Okay, dump in your whisked together dry ingredients and then just slowly mix. And I like to mix until there are still light, until I would say you see like the flour has just disappeared. I'll show you guys in a sec, but I'm seriously failing on stirring and snapping. Alright, so see there's just some of the lightest little flecks of flour in there. I'm cool with that. So we're going to dump this out onto some plastic wrap right now. Okay, this looks really gross, but this is the dough on the plastic wrap, and as you can see, it's super like sticky. I like to put it in the fridge for 30 minutes. And so we all wouldn't have to sit around and wait for 30 minutes. I have some fridge dough ready, so let's roll some balls together, shall we? Okay, so this is the firmer dough. Obviously, you can tell. This is a huge chunk that made it past quality control. You want to take that out of your cookie. It won't work. Alright guys, so it's easier with two hands, obvi, but you want it to get in kind of a sphere shape. And I use a healthy tablespoon and a half, 2 tablespoons of dough per cookie, and as you can see there's no oil or butter in these cookies. Mixture of 1/4 a cup of granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon each of cardamom and cinnamon. And when I say that you want to amply cover, amply, is that working for us? I don't know. You want to thoroughly cover your ball in a ton of this sugar. Like I like to be able to see it, not just one lap through, but a couple laps through the ring. Alright guys, I use really big baking sheets, so I provide an ample 2 inches of space between each cookie. Okay, I had no idea what just happened to my voice there. But add enough space for spreading. We're going to put these in the freezer for about, I'm going to say 10 minutes. And the recipe is 30 minutes, but I'm feeling impatient and I don't have freezer cookies ready to go. So a quick note on why I put them in the freezer, and that actually helps them keep their shape while they bake. And that's kind of it. If you don't have a freezer that will accommodate a large baking sheet, you can just put the balls on a plate and then transfer them to your baking sheet after. So a quick note on freezing your cookie dough. You can put the balls in the freezer and freeze them solid and put them in. And then bust the cookies out whenever you feel like having fresh ones, and you'll need to tack on a couple minutes to your bake time. I already have the oven preheated to 375, and I have a rack in the top third of the oven. That's where I always like to bake my cookies. Alright, so these guys just came out of the oven, and I have to say well, that one kind of exploded over there, but they look really pretty. Alright, so if any of your cookies come out and they're not as spherical as you'd like them, you can use the edge of your spatula to nudge them. You can use the edge of your spatula to nudge them into maybe a more better looking circle. That's right, more better. So these are a really fun snickerdoodle to do in the fall because the muscovado, the cardamom, the cinnamon give it lots of fall flavor. And this guy right here is one that I made this morning, so it's had a chance to cool. You'll see it's firmed up a bit. It has a nice crisp edge, but you'll see in the center it's nice and chewy. I know, I'm excited. Alright guys, that's it for me today. I tried to be quicker than I normally am. I hope I succeeded a little bit. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day and watching me make these cookies. If you have any questions at all, email me or snap me. If you would like to do a Snapchat takeover for the Feedfeed, send them a snap and let them know what you'd like to do. I'm going to give you guys one more screenshot of the recipe and my whereabouts on social media, and I hope to see you guys around. Thanks a bunch. Bye.